Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. Today, Jeremy Byers is on the show. He's a young one. He's a youngin'. I think Jeremy's 16, maybe 17 years old, has a YouTube channel, and he reached out to me a couple of times. I met him at a career fair. I was talking to 10th graders, so he's 10th going into 11th grade. He's been running a YouTube channel for a number of years, I think going back to like 2012, and I think it's just cool to find. I love talking to teenagers because you get a different insight into what's going on in the world. You get a different insight into how people are operating, because teenagers, his age group, they think differently than, I'm 35. I don't know how old you are listening, but I think it's always fun to get insight into other people's lives and other generations' lives, especially kids who grew up with the internet. They grew up with the tablets and iPhones in their hand, with technology at their fingertips. Most of society and most of the history of the world, as far as humans go, thousands of years, we've never had the kind of technology that this generation is growing up with. So I find it fascinating looking at their outlook on life, and that's why I wanted to have him here on the show. I want to thank the sponsors who make this thing possible. The Clay Cup, at The Clay Cup on Facebook and Instagram. Trade Secrets on Facebook, Secrets and Trade. Instagram, Trade Secrets _skincare. Juice, that's Joos. The Juice Bar, Facebook and Instagram. And Sports Evolution, that's Facebook and Instagram at Leading Athletes. We'll talk more about the sponsors in just a little bit, but first, let's get this conversation started with Jeremy.
This is Rob Z Radio.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Not good. Nice to have you here.
Nice to be here.
I almost said nice to your how are you. Like, how are you? Nice. I'm nice. Jeremy Byers is here today.
Hello.
Welcome to the studio, sir.
Nice to be here.
It's nice to have you here. So this is going to be, I'm excited about this podcast, number one, because you're very persistent. We met at Hollidaysburg, or you go to Hollidaysburg, is that right?
Tyrone.
You go to Tyrone.
Yeah,
You're from Sinking Valley, right?
Yeah.
Pennsylvania, that's correct. So that makes sense. But we met at a career fair a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
You were a 10th grader at the time. You're about to become an 11th grader.
Yep.
Stepping up in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I was, my career fair table was social media and communications, and you had said you had a YouTube channel, so we kind of started talking about that. And one of the things I'm trying to do lately, since we live in somewhat of a small area in central Pennsylvania, not many people out there are like really. Some people might have a YouTube video or two, or like have some stuff on their Facebook or on their Instagram, but a lot of people aren't pursuing it as like a profession. Yeah. Which is something that you're interested in, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that was cool that you're in 10th grade already starting that out, when a lot of people are just watching YouTube videos and wasting all their time. You're actually investing some time into making it happen.
Yeah.
When did you start making videos? And
well,
move that microphone a little closer to you,
right,
just so we can hear you better. You can tilt it up too if you need to.
I started really making YouTube videos somewhere around like 2012, 2013 on my old channel, and I didn't put any editing into them. I just recorded something and I uploaded. I didn't edit because I didn't know how to at the time. And then I quit that channel because it wasn't really how I wanted it to be, so I decided to restart.
How did you want it to be? What was not right about it?
Like, at that time I started like really getting involved in editing, and I felt like a fresh start would be a good idea. So I started a new channel, and I started making commentaries mostly. Well, I started out making video games, like video game videos, and then I moved on to commentaries because my internet at my house is like very bad, so I couldn't actually play video games online. So like nobody watched like what I was actually doing.
I grew up. So you grew up you're growing up in Sinking Valley. That's where I grew up too. And yeah, there's no internet connection.
Yeah, it's really bad.
It's really terrible.
Yeah.
So you don't have much of an option.
Yeah. So I moved on to doing commentaries, and that was all right. And then I still really started to get involved with like the filmmaking, like productions and doing stuff. So I started doing comedy sketches on that channel, and I just kept going. And then I started doing live streams, which was they were like sub for sub live streams where I would just put up a live stream and people could come on to the live stream and say subscribe to my channel, like kind of self promote, like helping people.
Yeah.
And I would just put on the live stream and then just walk away from it, and people would be subscribing because, I guess they want to stay at the live stream. Well, I realized, I'm getting tons of these subscribers, but they're not actually watching my content. So it kind of, with YouTube's algorithm, you have lots of subscribers, but nobody's watching your videos, so we're going to throw you under the bus. So there's nobody watching you. So I restarted another time.
How does that happen that somebody would have a lot of subscribers yet nobody watches their videos? That doesn't make, are you paying for subscribers then, or what's the story there?
No, they were just subscribing, but the only reason they were subscribing because they liked the live stream. They wanted to help themselves.
Right, so they just weren't.
Yeah, and they didn't care about me. All they wanted to do was, subscribe so they didn't lose the live stream and so they could find it again. So I realized that was a mistake, and I restarted again in December of last year. And ever since, I've been, just sticking to making videos, commentaries, and I'm not, on the last channel I had a wide variety of just a bunch of different videos that were very unorganized and everything. So this channel is commentaries and comedy sketches, and that's pretty much it.
It's nice how on YouTube you can lay it out in lists of what your content is.
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah.
You can layer it with the introduction video. More platforms need to kind of, I guess more video platforms, which would really be Facebook. They should have something laid out like that, because you can design your Facebook page, if you have a business or fan page, to be oriented towards video or towards live video, but you can't break it down into categories like on YouTube.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it's really helpful because if it didn't have that, people would
Be a scattered mess.
Yeah, it'd be hard to navigate around my channel and stuff like that. So
yeah. I wish podcasting. That's one thing with podcasting I wish it had. You could take just a subcategory off that you can find all of these kind of episodes in one spot.
yeah, and it's just very useful, very useful.
Yeah.
And it's just easier that way. I like to organize it with here's all my uploads, and then here's my comedy sketches, organize it into each section with playlists and stuff, and it's just easier to organize it that way.
What's the YouTube channel if people want to find it?
Jeremy Byers.
How do you spell Byers? Is it B-Y-E-R?
B-Y-E-R-S.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you got rid of the first channel altogether. I think we talked about this at the career fair. I remember something being brought up about it.
I didn't delete the channel. The channel's still up. I just
abandoned it.
I abandoned it, and I privatized a lot of the videos because that's old content that, I understand you can see how people started out and stuff, but I just privatize it just because that's not me anymore.
Yeah.
I prefer to be more this is who I am now. I'm uploading the content I like doing now. So
then you'll delete this account eventually, or just shut it down for the next. This is the new Jeremy in 3 years.
Well,
I'm perpetually.
I'm hoping this one's gonna stay how it is, and just I'll stick to this channel because I really like what I've made so far since December, and it's pretty much everything's perfect at the point.
I know what you're saying though. When you have something, you look back on it, and you're like, "Ooh, man."
Yeah, and makes me curl up in a ball and cry.
Yeah, exactly. Cold shower, and you're just crying in the shower.
Yeah.
Just lonely.
Yeah.
In radio, that was kind of the trial by fire part of doing live stuff, is that you can't ever go back. You know what I mean? There's no regrets with radio's different, I guess, because you don't have a radio account. There wasn't an account I could go to find all of my content in one place. But the live portion of the industry helped me out a lot unknowingly, just because I was I can just do it one time. You can record and voice track in the industry is very common, but to do things live is you can just connect better. You can just tell. It's very hard to make something that's recorded seem live.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's always some sort of difference there.
Yeah.
Which is interesting with podcasting. You can do, we're doing live video, but recorded audio. So the recorded audio would sound live, I guess, because you are doing it live.
Yeah. In live streaming, I've tried that, and it always, I can't find a topic to really live stream about, and that's why I usually stay away from live streaming, and I just work on, producing good content, and that's pretty much it. I don't try to do live events or anything, because it's always looks bad, it's not really, structured the way I want it to be, so I just don't really do it.
Yeah. The thing I find super interesting, just from my perspective into your perspective, is that you've come up with YouTube as one of your main TV sources, right?
Yeah.
Because you were born in 2002.
Yeah.
So since then, YouTube was 2005. I think it really took off.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much been your entire life. That's one of the main platforms. Who do you look at on YouTube and you're like, man, that is the pinnacle of like where you can get?
Ooh.
Like, what do you love to watch, or not? Maybe not even somebody you love to watch, but it's just like you're impressed by the world they've built on their channel.
There's a YouTuber named iDubbbz, and he has like 6 million.
Yeah.
And his fan base is like very toxic, but for some reason like it's very entertaining.
Yeah.
Because he does these things. It's called content cops, and basically he'll go after some other YouTuber and criticize their content. It's not like an exposed thing. It's like criticizing their content, and it usually is like career ending for that other person.
Oh,
and
really?
Like, it'll end their career because tons of people unsubscribe from them, and then his fans go after them. And it's like really toxic. Like those people are now like could be swatted because like people, his fans will be like call the cops on them and say there's someone held hostage in this house, and people like they'll be swatted. It's like, so they have to basically tell their local police station like, hey, this just happened. If you get a call, nothing's wrong, and it's like career ending for them.
How does this dude still have a YouTube account? I don't get how these people thrive.
I don't know, but like he'll destroy someone's career, but at the same time he gets a huge boost from it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's and
how is he destroying them? Like, what's he doing?
He's bringing up their past mostly and saying, like, opening people's eyes, like, hey, this is wrong, what they're doing. Because, like, for example, he went in on this one YouTuber where he basically made fun of children.
Okay.
And iDubbbz said, basically made fun of him. And then that YouTuber who he went in on always made fun of like physical appearances of the children and stuff like that. So iDubbbz made fun of his chin.
So this guy's basic account, like the basis of the account was making fun of children?
Making fun of children and like their physical appearance. So
oh my gosh. I'm not laughing because I don't know if it's funny or not. I've never seen it, but that's ridiculous. That's why. That's hilarious.
It is. And iDubbbz went after him and started making fun of his chin. You can see, like, giving him a taste of his own medicine because this guy...
So this guy deserved it.
Yeah. And he really didn't have a chin. Like, if you really looked at him, he didn't have a chin. So, like, he just made fun of his chin. Like,
thumbhead.
Yeah, like, halfway through the video, and it just ended his career. He's still, like, losing subscribers to this day, and it's been, like, almost a year and a half, almost 2 years.
Man. So, wait, is he tearing down people that need it? Or is he just, like...
Yeah, he's tearing down people, like, who've done wrong.
He's like a vigilante. He's like Batman for YouTube. Like, he's going around stopping people.
But himself, like, himself as a YouTuber is still... Like, he's done a lot of, like, controversial stuff, and I don't know, it's like you want to hate him, but his content is very
controversial.
Yeah,
because controversy creates cash.
Yeah,
it's just the way it happens.
And
that's I mean, looking at radio perspective, Howard Stern, like you're probably too young to know like all about Howard Stern, but like I mean, he was ultimate level of controversy in radio and broke all kinds of standards and rules and kind of changed the industry just himself. I was never like a giant Howard Stern fan in the content area of like, it was a lot of, I mean, I'm a fan of like fart jokes and crude humor. Like I love it, but it was just like over the top again and again and again, running it into the ground. And a lot of it was mean spirited. And he's even gone back, and I've listened to recent interviews where he kind of apologizes for what he was like back then, because he was a nutcase. But it was huge. It was like the biggest thing ever. So people loved it, and he just became like an icon. Now he is also an amazing broadcaster and a visionary for sure, but that part of it I always thought, wow, why is that the thing that attracts people to him? And it's just that it's like, what's he gonna say next? Controversy kind of thing. Like, wow, what's he gonna do?
And that's what everyone's waiting for iDubbbz to make another video like that. Like people wait for that, and when it's released, they're like 30-minute videos, so they're really long.
Really?
And like just completely destroy somebody. And it's so funny. It is.
So he's building up like a lot of steam to tear somebody apart. Like he's studying them for a long time.
Yeah, he takes like, he'll take like 2 months to like really look into them. He doesn't upload for like 2 months. He'll look into like this person, and nobody knows who the next victim is.
Oh, so iDubbbz doesn't release any content besides that, and he'll take months in between. Yeah,
well, he'll upload. He does like bad unboxing where his fans like mail him stuff, and it's really weird stuff that they'll mail him to. But he usually does that, and he has a second channel where he like saves squirrels or something like that. I don't know, but like everybody loves. I
love the internet. It's so ridiculous.
Everybody loves his content cops because there's months in between where he'll research a YouTuber. They don't know who the next victim is, but when he releases it, I mean, everything chaos breaks loose. It's crazy.
Mhm.
It's really crazy.
I gotta check him. Is it IDUBZ or S?
It's IDUBBBZ.
Okay.
And then
make
that's
it even more difficult. IDUBBBZ. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. I'm gonna check him out. So is that kind of like when you got into YouTube, when you started getting excited about it? Because I think everybody does. Here's the first question: does everybody your age want to be a YouTube star?
No.
Okay.
I think I'm interested in more of like the like I'm kind of like a nerd, like a geek sort of person.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm into technology and making like there's my school knows about my YouTube channel, and it's like a kind of a big thing. Like everybody knows about it, and nobody else does it in my school. Like there were people who did it, but they don't do it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend, actually, his name's Cody. He pretty much got me into YouTube because he actually had a channel. He doesn't have anymore, but he doesn't use it anymore. And he started making videos, and I was like doing some videos with him. And then I was like, okay, I really want to do this now. And PewDiePie was always a big guy that I always looked up to because, I mean, he's the biggest on the platform. So I always looked up to him, and Cody pretty much got me into doing YouTube, which...
And PewDiePie, did he start on Twitch and then move over to YouTube once? Because
I think he just started on YouTube.
he did start on YouTube,
Yeah.
but he's doing Twitch as well, or he started on YouTube playing video games.
Yeah.
Before Twitch really existed.
Yeah, I don't think he really live streams on Twitch. He live streams on YouTube now. Well, he did until he messed up on stream. But
Yep.
yeah, he doesn't really do gaming videos anymore. He just kind of just does whatever he wants to
Just
now.
like content videos
Yeah,
and stuff,
yeah,
just
he-
whatever he's talking about.
Yeah, he's not trying anymore because like he's 65 million subscribers. Like nobody's catching up. Like,
Yeah.
like he doesn't have to try anymore.
Yeah, seriously. He's like an anomaly, right? I
Yeah.
mean, that's not going to happen very often, like the level he got to. It's strange.
Mm-hmm.
My wife just showed me Jeffree Star. I never knew about Jeffree Star before. Do you know who he is?
I just found out about him.
And he's like worth like hundreds of millions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
In the world, it just blows my mind because like there's just there can be somebody in a whole different part of the world and different things that you have no idea about, and they have like hundreds of millions of followers and they're super rich, and it's like, what, how,
Yeah.
when? It's a wild
And like
crazy world.
these people come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like they're nobody hears of anybody, and all of a sudden the next big name is like here, and nobody knows where he came from. Like,
Yeah.
or,
But you know they've been
doesn't-
working on it for a couple of years. Nobody
Yeah.
just starts out and
Yeah.
all of a sudden it explodes,
Yeah.
unless you're already like popular somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's what we had been talking about before we started, was like, because you were saying about some of your videos not getting as many views as you wanted them to.
Yeah.
And it's, man, it's like just this small thing. And I can say this, I guess, because I'm in the same boat you are, technically. Nothing's really exploded yet. So it's like this small increments of like little wins that you'll see like over time, and you got to just keep doing it.
Yeah. You have to. That's pretty much how you have to get big. Like you have to stick to it. Don't rush or anything. Like that's what I did. I used to do. I used to rush and be like, oh man, I'm never gonna make it and stuff. And now I'm just kind of taking it calm. Like I'm just stick to it. I don't care if I have 137 subscribers for the rest of my life. Like I'm just gonna stick to it.
You really know that number. You got that down.
Yeah.
We're at 137 right now.
Yeah.
It's written on your wall. 138 today. I can feel it.
Yeah. 3,085 views in total on my channel.
Okay.
Yeah. So far.
Cool.
I
How
think-
many videos do you have up?
Only a 30 couple. Like on my last channel I had like 300 something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, that many.
Yeah, and I like privatized all of them.
So you were just cranking them out like on a daily basis? Were you knocking videos out?
I try to do it on a daily basis. I think I only had 1 week of the whole time I've done it where I've had one video every single day. And
That's hard.
yeah, and it's not really, you have to kind of balance quantity and quality. And that's kind of what I'm doing now. It's like I'm not uploading every day, but I'm uploading weekly. And as long as I'm uploading weekly with good quality content, like then I'm just going to stick to that. That's
So, like, what are you talking about? Like, you're doing the ghost hunts.
Yeah,
You're doing
my recent one is a Ghost Adventures parody where
Okay.
we went into actually my friend's house. We used his house as the place where that was haunted,
Yeah.
and we just basically made fun of how they act on Ghost Adventures, like over exaggerating like how it actually is. There's no like jump scares or anything. It's all funny, but we all just do it for fun. Like it's usually all comedy. Like there's anything on my channel is pretty much comedy. Like there's not really any serious videos.
Else you're not getting real like deep into commentary about
No, I like
political and social economic issues and stuff like that.
No, I don't. I try to keep any seriousness out of my videos. Like, I think the most serious one I've done is a video where I talked about a YouTuber named FouseyTube, because if you know VidCon, these YouTubers are trying to like make their own VidCon now, and I just kind of criticized that, and that he did it. He tried to remake it, and I just kind of tried to criticize it, and that's pretty much it. It got, I don't know why, but my commentary videos get like pretty good views from like doing
because
that.
people like to hear people talking about other people.
Yeah, like on YouTube, drama, no matter what it is, drama makes views.
Yeah, you can just make stuff up and just roll with it, and it's gonna take off.
Yeah, that's
it's a shame, but that's just kind of how. And I mean, the easiest way to get attention: call out somebody who's big, call out somebody who's like higher up, and that automatically puts you. You know, people are gonna pay attention just because what are you gonna say about that person?
Yeah.
No matter what level it might be. But yeah, it's a shame. But I mean, that's TV. That's just people in general. It doesn't matter where you go. You're going to run into that situation.
Anytime there's drama between two people, like, people are going to watch no matter what. Like, as much as they think it's stupid, they're still going to watch it.
Yeah.
Like, that's like Logan Paul and Jake Paul. They had they faked their whole controversial beef thing where they were making fun of each other, and they got 10 million views or 10 million subscribers off of that. I'm sure they got way more views, but they got millions of subscribers off of that, and it's so dumb, but I was watching it. Like, I thought it was so dumb, but I was watching it.
You were watching it thinking like, I know this is fake. I'm going to try to figure out exactly how they're faking this fight.
Like, they were faking it.
Did they come out and admit that it was fake?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they said, oh yeah, it's fake. Like, after like months later they did, and they made
some good trolling.
They made so much money off of that. It's crazy.
And all I can really say is good for them. I mean, they might be obnoxious,
but that's smart.
And I can't stand them. But like, how easy is that? It's your brother, and you're like, oh, let's just pretend to fight with each other.
Yeah,
people are gonna eat it up
because they were both already big from Vine, and that just set them. That they were set, and they knew what they were doing.
I feel like Vine to YouTube would be a difficult transition, just because it was like such short videos. Yeah, that really meant nothing. I mean, you could pack, somehow people would pack like these amazing stories in 6 seconds, but you try to expand that to YouTube. That's got to be tough.
Well, when Logan Paul, when he moved over, it seemed really easy for him, because his first video, he was almost like the biggest one on Vine, like the platform. And when he transitioned, I mean, all the little kids just followed him.
So went right over.
Yeah, so it was kind of easy for him.
How would it make you feel if all of your fans were like 7-year-old kids? You'd be like, wow, this is amazing. I have lots of fans and I'm rich. On the other hand, it's like,
they're kids. I don't know.
Right. Unless you're a kid yourself. But if you're like 20, I don't know how old he is. But like in his
22, I don't know. 23.
He's still not even that old, I guess, technically. So,
but I
still would be kind of sad.
I wouldn't want little kids as fans. Like, I usually have like my age teenagers, like 16. You know, that's usually my fan base.
Yeah.
Anything. I mean, I'm not like I'd be ashamed of like having little kids watching me, but it's like that just kind of, as you as a person, like have kids watching your content. You're like, for him, he's 22. He has little kids watching his videos, and that's something that a lot of people use against him. Yeah. Because like he's making kids like laugh, like that's his job. Yeah. And people use it against him, and I wouldn't want that to be used against me. But it's like I don't have to worry about that yet.
Now, if he was like who Mr. Blippy or Blippo, do you know that guy? No. He's like probably in his 20s, and he dresses kind of like a clown, and he does like, because my son's 4, so we watch a lot of his videos, and it's just like him going to like playgrounds and just doing like goofy stuff. But it's huge, and he's probably, I mean, it's like the guy who wore the Barney costume. You know, like you're dead inside, but you're making a lot of money. People love what you're doing, unless you really love performing for kids, and that's a different story altogether. That's your thing. But I would feel like half the time it's just like, man, I fell into this amazing job that pays a lot of money, but I can't take it anymore, and I'm gonna lose my mind. Yeah, and I can't believe they're gonna reach their breaking point at one point. Like, I would think so. The Pauls, they're gonna reach a breaking point where they just, I implode.
I think all the the famous, how do I want to say it? Their exposure is going to get to their head, and their power is going to get to their head, and they're just going to mess up. I mean, Logan Paul already did mess up, but you know, it'll happen again. I almost know it. Yeah, I just know it will. Yeah, well, they also, I would think that becoming really famous at a young age on YouTube might mess you up because you wouldn't. Because YouTube's kind of like, it's outlaw. Like there's no
This is something you have to do. Like, you don't have to listen to anybody. You can pretty much just release whatever you want at any time. And if it's good or people follow you, they're going to like eat it up and you're going to make money. So it's got to be strange to be cause you've never had like rules or regulations towards like
because
your
everybody,
profession.
Like when you're young like that, like I can even say the same thing. Like you always have that mindset where like I can do what I want, and I've even had that sometimes, and I've screwed up doing it like that.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to them. Like I can do what I want, and then
now you're filming dead people,
yeah,
and look where you're at.
Yeah.
Way to go.
I can't believe he didn't destroy his career though, and he should have paid for it like way more. But oh man, I can't believe
he's too big.
Yeah.
It's just like
he's unstoppable at this point.
There needs to be a Me Too movement against him somehow. It's got to be out there.
Yeah.
And then that might just bring him down. Maybe he couldn't even touch him either. I don't know. I've seen so many big YouTubers like go through so much controversy. And they're still thriving to this day. Like PewDiePie's a good example. He's messed up I don't know how many times, and he's still growing. I mean, he's not trying anymore, but he's still growing really fast. Yeah.
And it's crazy because like last year I think he made Nazi jokes or something, and I mean everybody got mad at him. Like the Wall Street, Disney dropped him because Disney was actually like owning him pretty much.
Wow. And
they dropped him everything, and I mean his Jewish friend even like came out and defended him. It was funny.
Defended him?
Yeah, they came out and defended him and said like it's just a joke. Like people can't take jokes, and I mean that's what happened.
But you got to be funny first. I mean, I don't know if he's funny or not. Some people he's funny.
I think he's funny, but I mean, I don't really have an opinion on that part of his YouTube career because, I mean, what he did, like he kind of knew what he was getting into, like making Nazi jokes. Like, come on, like what you're, especially on that big of a platform, like you're the biggest one, like setting an example.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I still watch him though. Was
the joke bad? I didn't hear about it.
It was like.
Why don't you tell us the joke right now?
Well, he there's this website called Fiverr, and there was these guys who would, like, you pay them $5 and they'll basically do anything.
Yeah.
And he wanted to just see if they'd put death to all Jews on this like cardboard thing. And they did, and they put it up and like put it on Fiverr, and he's like, he couldn't believe it. Like, I can't believe they just did that. And then he'd always make like Hitler jokes and like, jokes that meant nothing pretty much, but it was the Jew thing where like death to all Jews, like that was what killed him.
Although he didn't actually make it.
No, it was
somebody else. Did those guys get reprimanded?
Yeah. They got taken off Fiverr.
Did they really?
Yeah.
I'd imagine that would. Yeah. That seems like a natural move.
But he couldn't believe it, and I was just like laying back and thinking like, holy crap, like what just happened? Like you can't believe it. It's crazy, like what people do just for exposure, and I just hope I never go down that path.
Let's break in real quick to pay some bills, because my dude Alan Coble, Sports Evolution, at Leading Athletes on Facebook and Instagram to see what he does. So he's located 2900 Plank Road in Altoona, Pennsylvania. That's where I take Gracie Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's a purple belt, CrossFit certified levels 1 and 2. He's a certified strength and conditioning specialist, certified personal trainer. He has youth martial arts. He really can teach you how to tear somebody apart through jiu-jitsu, or can help you to repair your body. He helped me to repair my back. That's actually how I got introduced to Alan, how we became friends, and led to this podcast sponsorship. So sportsevolution.net, that's my dude. Shout out to Alan. Shout out to Juice, Joos. That's Jen at Juice. She runs that at 517 Allegheny Street in Hollidaysburg. Everything is fresh, made to order. Hot soups, raw vegan baked goods, smoothie bowls, bone broth, cold pressed juice and smoothies at Juice. The Clay Cup, 1304 11th Avenue in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Coffee, tea, freshly baked goods, bagels, oatmeals. She loves to collaborate. She loves creativity. That's Sarah Vogel. Pottery painting also at the Clay Cup. Watercolor classes. It's a great hub for community in central Pennsylvania. And Trade Secrets. Stephanie Height and her husband Andy, they create all natural, all in-house research and developed body care products. Soy wax candles, wax melts, lip balms, whip body butters, all natural deodorant, sugar scrubs, all that good stuff at Trade Secrets. You can call them up at 814-505-6942. Thank you to the sponsors. Now let's get back to the show. Where I look at South Park, like whenever I was, well, I guess South Park started when I was probably like 18 or 19. But that show broke broke every boundary consistently. They still do today. They're still making new episodes, and they're still more outrageous than ever.
Yeah.
But like they're just so outrageous, and they cross so many lines, but somehow persevered through the whole thing just because they were like, well, we don't care. This is what we do. And Comedy Central also gave them the platform to do whatever they wanted.
Yeah, like they've broken like racism, like they pretty much everything that's like not good, like they've done.
They even did Muhammad.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like you can't even say his name, and like they had a 2-part series about him. It's insane. But looking at that, and you think like those guys have. I have so much respect for them because of the balls they have just to go out there and do that.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I would never be able to.
Yeah, like you're it's a big risk, honestly.
So you have to just not care. It's on some level.
Yeah.
I feel like your brain has to be broken in some way, shape, or form.
To like think, first of all, thinking of that, like any of those jokes on that show, like, how do you think of that?
Now I think I could definitely think in the same realm of the jokes, but to actually like say them out loud in public would be
Oof. Yeah, like I've thought of like really bad jokes. It's like you shouldn't repeat, but like saying them out loud like they do, it's like, what are you doing? But they're good at it. Like no one says anything,
and it's all hidden through cartoons, so that makes it even like easier to digest.
Yeah, it's like the mask. It's like their mask.
Yeah, like they're hiding behind it, and it works, even though everybody knows who they are. That's the crazy part. So I guess what are you trying to do with what you're going to do? Like, what do you plan on doing when you leave high school? Are you going to college for anything?
If YouTube doesn't take off, then I'll probably either go try to use my talent of video editing and try to get a job that way, or I'll probably go to a trade school or something like that. I guess that's what you call it, for carpentry.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm probably going to do that, and unless YouTube takes off, which I'm hoping it does, I'll probably still make YouTube videos though.
When you say YouTube takes off, what would it be for you for YouTube to take off? Like
10K, 10,000 subscribers would just be taken off for me.
Yeah.
And like 50,000, that would be crazy, and 500K, like that'd be insane. But like taking off for me is like 10K, 15K, and that's usually there. It's usually easy the way on, like from there on out. It's usually pretty easy because now you have a big enough platform where there's enough people that'll share your stuff, and you really don't have to work as hard. I mean, like right now, I don't have a big enough platform for people to like really, share my content around with other people. And I have to pretty much do that myself. I have to, constantly work and like put links everywhere and like for people to see. But once you have such a big platform, your fans will just do it for you.
Yeah.
And it's kind of easy.
The momentum of it picks up, and it's kind of snowball, and it just takes off on its own.
Snowball effect. It just keeps rolling and it gets bigger.
Yeah, but it takes a while to get there. I guess like Logan Paul, for example. How long was he on Vine before that started taking off? Or do you know that?
He was on for a few years, and then Vine isn't even that old, actually. It's like they started in like 2013.
Yeah, I feel like it was around for 2 years.
Yeah,
and then just imploded when it just disappeared.
Yeah, he was. I don't know actually when he took off on Vine, but I mean, since he was already big on that platform, he took off once he got on YouTube, and it was easy for him. Like the snowball was rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving quickly. That's the cool part, is that once it does, then you're good to go.
Yeah.
Unless you really, I guess you could really screw that thing up, but
yeah, but for some reason it just keeps rolling. Like for him, especially for him, like once you get so big, like really, really big, you can pretty much mess up as many times as you want, and you'll still, no matter what, you'll be relevant to people. And it's crazy. Because
either way, you're going to get attention. Like, all press is good press. Doesn't matter if it's terrible or it's fantastic.
And usually on YouTube, it's always like negative stuff is juicy, and that's the stuff that really, really gets more views than positive things. Like you can go out and, make a video of, I gave $50 to 50 homeless people, and it'd be like, that'd be a lot of views, but then you'd say, I got in a fight with a homeless guy, and people would be like, oh man, I want to see that. It's like, people just love negativity, and it is really like that's not good, but
that's just human nature. You drive past a car accident, you have to look at it.
Yeah. You
have to stare at it and say, what happened?
Yeah. That's not good.
And you'll say to yourself like, oh, I don't want to know. But you do. Like, there's a party that really wants to know. And I mean, that's been happening forever. That people feed off of that. It's ridiculous, but it's just it's very effective.
Yeah.
It grabs attention. It's a shame, man, because I have watched videos where people go out and like help, feed the homeless or whatever it might be, that's something that's positive. But at the same time, I would also just watch bum fights. That's stupid, like that kind of stupid crap. Like I would still be entertained by that as well. I mean, it's obviously they give you two different feelings, but and especially on YouTube's crazy because it's all in one spot, and you can have something. I love looking at my recommendations because I watch so many random different kinds of things that like horrible videos will pop up right next to like really powerful motivational videos. Just like back to back, like meaningless people next to people who've like changed the world. Yeah. And that's like our minds. It's in a timeline. You can look at like how your mind is.
Yeah, everybody always is just drawn towards negativity, like no matter what it is. And I mean, I'm not saying that I don't watch, positive videos. Like I do. I love watching, people going out and, feeding homeless people or something. But on YouTube, it's really easy to fake that stuff. And I mean, it's also really easy to fake, negative videos like that. And you don't know what's real anymore. Yeah. Once you've seen all the tricks, like you don't know what's real. Yeah. And, like you can fake. I've seen videos where they've been exposed for faking, going out and paying people so much money, and because they're, they have nothing in life and stuff like that, and they'll pay tons of money, but it's like once they get exposed, then you have no idea what is real and what's not, and it's sad. It is really sad.
And that's the crazy part, is it doesn't matter what's real and what's fake. Yeah, that's the part that I find most surprising. Is in the end, if it was presented and it was blown up by the media or whatever the situation was, and then it comes out like, a month later that it wasn't true, that doesn't even matter anymore. Like all it matters is they got the initial hit of all the people putting their attention on, like Logan Paul with the dead body in the woods. It was, looking at that thinking, I guess obviously that was not staged. Yeah. People knew right away that wasn't staged because that
man was actually hanging in the tree.
And that whole wooded area of Japan is like it's like
suicide forest.
Suicide forest. It's so strange. But
people go in there to kill themselves.
It's wild, and that's fascinating in itself. I watched a documentary about that before, just because it's fascinating in itself that is happening. Mm-hmm. So for somebody to go there, I'd automatically watch the video and see what it was about.
And now he's getting a lot of exposure because he wants to do a documentary about like how he changed as a person. So now he's profiting again off of what he did wrong. And he's
beautiful.
Like, and
he's a marketing genius.
I know, and he's like, "Oh, I changed, and I understand what I did wrong." And now he's making a documentary on it. It's like, and everyone's getting mad at him for that.
Good for him, man.
But people are still gonna watch it no matter what.
Yeah, like I honestly, he gets on my nerves, but I'm like, he knows what he's doing on some level. He's figured it out.
Like there's so much wrong that he's done, and I'm like, there's seriously something mentally wrong with you. But then at the same time, he is a genius for what he's doing, like how he's doing it.
Abraham Lincoln has a quote. It's something like, "I learn something from everybody that I meet. Usually I meet the wrong things to do, but sometimes I find the right things to do." Like usually I'll meet somebody and I'll meet them and realize, wow, I never want to act the way they're acting. That's ridiculous. And that can also be a good thing. So I mean, on either side, looking at Logan Paul, like there's some stuff that I'm like, I could definitely pick up some tips from anybody who's trying to create something online, but then understand this is the direction you don't want to go in. This is crossing the line. Like finding those spots that are crossing the line. Some people are willing to walk up to that line and jump over it. I'm usually the kind of person who's just like, I'm just going to
play it safe.
I wouldn't say play it safe. It's just that I am going to just be who I am. Because me doing something like that would be fake. It wouldn't be who I actually am. So if I was to try to cross the line, I guess it would be just things that I believe that might be controversial to other people, but aren't to me. Like it's stuff that I might believe that other people might hear and be like, that's ridiculous or that's outrageous or whatever. But if it's honestly the way you feel, then if you're doing it for clickbait, it's a whole different story.
Yeah, and there's a lot of times where people, they'll cross the line and then they won't realize it until it's too late, and then they've just realized they've made a bad reputation on themselves. And I've done that in the past. I haven't done it in a while, but I hope I don't do it anytime soon. But in the past, I've made mistakes, and I've realized, like, once I look at that, I'm like, what was I doing at that moment? It's really, you miss it, and you don't realize it until it's too late. That's
Yeah, you're just like wrapped up in doing it
Mhm.
and not thinking about how other people are going to react to it.
yeah.
I made a dumb Twitter joke a couple of weeks ago. Something about blind people. It was like blind guy. What was the dumb? It was such a stupid joke, but it made me chuckle. I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. So I tweeted it, and this is like on such a small scale of criticism, right? Like I have like 29,000 followers, but nobody is really. Nobody's looking at me like as a news source or like some sort of, you know what I'm saying. So I tweeted that, and I got like 4 or 5 people like, that's rude, or you're an a-hole because you offended somebody who's visually impaired, which first of all, they wouldn't be able to read the tweet. Number one, there's no braille for Twitter. So, I mean, they couldn't, unless somebody read it to them.
I think I saw that, actually. I think I saw that tweet.
And then somebody tweeted me agreeing, and then they made a joke too, and that made it even worse. And I thought, like, should I delete that? Because it offended a couple of people. And I thought, personally, I know it's a dumb joke, and if I just didn't. I was like, I'm just not going to. So that's a small little bit of controversy, I guess.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel weird. It makes you feel like, ooh, man, but some people, I guess, are like, yes.
Yeah, when you're going and you're doing something and you think it's going to be really funny, and then it's just people's reaction to it is like completely different than what you thought it was. And I've done that a lots of times too. It's you put a video out and it's like, this is going to be good, and then people automatically think like, what's wrong with you? Like, why would you think that? And it's like, oh, I thought it was funny, and then I just ignore it pretty much. That's what I do. I don't try to make it bigger than what it is.
Because as long as you think it's funny, as long as you think that it's good, that's good.
Yeah, and if you just keep doing that, then you'll get the right audience eventually.
Right.
And that's something I've learned.
Yeah, well, especially like we live in a small area, so people are typically a little more sensitive in small towns, a little more introverted in small towns. I think that plays a big role in it. And then the further you get out into bigger cities and stuff like that, people kind of ease up a little bit. But that might not even be the case, because that's where a lot of the social justice warriors come from and stuff too. I mean, I guess it's anywhere really. There's just more of the same kind of people in bigger areas. Yeah, because they all flock to each other. But it's a wild. I'm looking forward to like the rise and just going through it and continuously moving forward every day. I made a conscious decision, like at my 35th birthday, I'm going to make sure I have content out every day. Some piece of content on a platform. Like hopefully 90% of the time it's video content, putting something out there to people. Because the only way to ever, reach any of those heights is you've got to just keep knocking it out, keep moving forward. And when you have something bad happen, when you have somebody criticize you, or you realize, oh, that sucked, that was a terrible piece of content, and I never should have done it. Like, just whatever, move past it and keep going forward, because it happened, it's done. What are you going to do about it? Yeah,
and moving on is probably the best deal. If you try to stop there and try to fire back at them, you're just making yourself look like a moron.
Yeah, you're just slowing yourself down.
Yeah, and moving on is just better. Like, you might learn from it, or you might just do the same thing, but either way, it'll just blow right over and nobody has to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, unless you're a real prick and you feel like you have to go back and just tear people's lives apart. I don't know. Or unless you deserve it. If you deserve it, that's one thing, but even if you deserve it, you probably don't know that you do. You're not aware enough to realize that you have it coming to you. But yeah, there's just and this is with anything that you're trying to make happen. You just got to just keep cracking away at it, and eventually something's going to break where it's going to take off and more people are going to see it. And the beauty of the internet is you have all the platforms and so many eyeballs to take advantage of, which is why I got into marketing, the marketing end of it, using the advertising platforms on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram. It's incredible because you can reach so many people, and you can not only build a living off of it, but put yourself in front of people who never would find out about you unless you made it onto like network television, or into the movies or something like that. Yeah,
I really hope that something good happens for me. Like, I don't want to be like really big, but I don't want to stay really small either. Like, like 500K, that's probably good for me. Like, that's probably the limit. if I get any bigger, then okay, I'll be happy. I'm not like it's a bad thing, but you know, just as long as I make it, you know, somewhere where I get, you know, some sort of exposure, like 10K, that's like I said, that's good for me. Like being there. I'm not planning on being on a big TV platform someday or anything like that. I just want to stay, you know, doing videos. That's what I'm going to do, and that's probably what I'll stay doing because I like doing it.
Do you watch TV at all?
I do. I watch Impractical Jokers. That's probably like one of the big shows I watch.
That's a good show.
It is.
Those guys are so creative.
I know. That's probably like the only show I watch other than SpongeBob. I still watch SpongeBob. SpongeBob's good.
SpongeBob is good. I agree. One of the best cartoons ever made.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. I don't have cable, so I don't really watch TV, but it's just your generation's just moving so far past that so quickly.
Yeah.
I feel like it.
Like I watch more
useless.
YouTube than I do watching TV because, I mean, I probably watch more YouTube than the average, you know, person my age because I am doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably the only thing I really watch mostly is it takes up. That's the number one entertainment platform that I use is YouTube. That's pretty much what I do.
Don't you think everybody that you're in school with you would want to be on YouTube though, if they like could make themselves do it?
No, with my school, it's like you're a loser if you do it, pretty much.
Really?
Like I get a lot of criticism for like doing it. Like
that's because people just want to hate on other people.
Yeah, and I always think it's jealousy, but
it is, man. That's all it is.
But I just ignore it at this point. I usually just laugh at them and like, okay, well, I'm doing fine how I am. Like, what are you doing? Like,
yeah,
it's usually just people just opening their mouths for no reason. And
they know one thing about you that they can rip on you for.
Yeah, and I don't get really. I used to really get like, you know, oh man, I'm doing something wrong when they did it. But now I'm like so used to it at this point. It's like, okay, say whatever you want. I'm just gonna keep doing it.
Yet they're all watching YouTube all day long.
Yeah, and like,
right, so
I'll say they'll be like, oh, that last video was really stupid that you made. I'm like, well, you still watched it, didn't you? Like, thank you. You keep watching me. Stop watching me then. But they'll keep watching my videos. It's like.
But it's like you just said. Even if somebody doesn't like you, they'll watch because they want to like. Whoa, I want to not like them more.
Yeah, like,
man, this feels good
because I think they want more fuel to like add to the fire of like I hate you, like,
and they're giving themselves more fuel to never do anything.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
They're helping me more than they're helping themselves.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Unless they want to be miserable, that could be the situation where they don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, and like even teachers in school like know about my channel. I think it's really cool. Like there's this one teacher. I think he teaches world cultures or like geography or something. I don't remember, but he's like a very loyal watcher of my channel, and I think it's really funny. Like there's other teachers who watch every once in a while and know about it, and they'll make like we'll all joke around about it, like, oh yeah, he does YouTube, or you can make a YouTube video about it, or like based on whatever we're talking about.
Yeah. And
I think that's really cool because none of them, I mean, of course they're teachers, they shouldn't be saying anything to me, but I mean, they just embrace and they're like, you know, I think that's really cool. And then there's the students in my school that are, I don't know why, they just think it's cool to be like, oh, you're an idiot for doing this. It's just people. Like that's
well, it's just it's an easy thing. It's an easy target.
Yeah.
Like it's the one. Even if they never met you, they know you're on YouTube. Like, well, the videos suck, man.
Yeah.
And it's like an immediate reaction. Like, they know that's probably gonna get under your skin. Like,
yeah,
and like don't suck.
And like
piece of garbage.
Everybody in school, I think. Oh man, I don't know how many people know it. I know a lot of people know about it. I don't know how many exactly. But like my whole grade, the grade above me, the grade below me, like a few grades below me know about it. It's like I don't know how many people know about this. I didn't tell anybody about it really.
Yeah.
Like I told my friends and I tell people like, oh yeah, I do YouTube, but then I guess it just spreads and people see it and start watching it, and it's like the domino effect. Like it just starts spreading like crazy throughout the school, and everybody just knows about it. And some people, you know, think it's really cool that I do that. That like there is the group of people who think, you know, that's really cool that you're doing that, but majority of them, they're all like people with like you're an idiot. Like
the negative voices are always louder.
Yeah,
because they're always gonna just, for whatever reason, that human being always feels the need to just say things. They need to just like mouth vomit, word vomit, like whatever they feel like that you need to hear from them.
Yeah.
But honestly, man, I mean, looking at it, they look at our area in general, and I guess most areas, like most people around here watch a lot of internet content, yet don't put anything out on the internet, because number one, it's scary to get in front of a camera. It's scary to watch yourself back and edit yourself. You got to come up with ideas. You've got to put yourself out there for criticism. Like, all these things are like in the way of doing it. So instead of like addressing any of those, they're just like, whoa, you're an idiot and your videos suck. And I'm awesome and I don't make videos, but I'm way better.
Yeah. And I think they're
the people who would always talk about making a video, always like, oh man, you had the best idea for these videos. And like, where are they? Did you ever make the videos that you were going to talk about? They're going to be incredible.
They'll criticize you, but they don't have anything that they've done themselves.
Yeah.
And I think I like adapted very well with the whole, being on camera sort of thing. Like, at first I didn't want to be myself. Like, I felt like I had to be this other person. And now I've kind of gotten so used to it, it's like I'll just be me, and like I don't really care what people say. And the only thing is, like, editing my videos, like listening to myself, it still bothers me. Like, nobody really likes the sound of their own voice. Like, that's kind of
bothers me.
Yeah,
I've been doing this for like 18 years.
Yeah, like everybody just I'm sure like everybody doesn't like the sound of their own voice, and I know I don't like. I like editing my videos, but I don't like listening to myself. But I know it's still a good video, apart from listening to myself talk.
Yeah.
But I enjoy it, and I just get over it. It's like not a big deal. It's not really a big deal anymore, but I still just don't like the sound of my own voice.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I'm the same way. I'll hear or see stuff that I do, and I'm like,
why'd I do that?
Oh, I hate everything. But then it's just whatever. Just move on to the next one. It's not that big of a deal, because everybody has that experience, and I don't think, and most people never even. Most people are too afraid to even hear the sound of their own voice or see their own face back. Like, some people hate even just seeing a photo of themselves, a still image. You know what I mean? Let alone like seeing how they talk and act. That's most of the world. So like, when you keep moving your way up, like, it's just less and less people. I guess some people are naturally inclined to do it. They love themselves. They're okay with the way they are, or they just don't. Fine. I don't mean okay like their egos.
Yeah.
Like they have the wrong perception of who they are, right? So they're seeing themselves as somebody that's like incredible, and they're usually not that good. Yeah. But when you can like actually watch yourself and dissect how you're doing, and then evaluate it and change it, it took me years in radio to be able to do that. It took me a long time to listen back to myself and actually be able to dissect it and not just loathe over it and hear it and just be like, I can't do this job anymore. I got to get out of the industry. Just to keep going is the most important part, because I listen to Joe Rogan a lot, and he talks about like he'll listen to a lot of, or watch a lot of his comedy sets and stuff, and he most of the time doesn't really like what he does. He's not that big of a fan. I've been a big wrestling fan my whole life. Stone Cold Steve Austin, one of the greatest of all time, says he'll watch his matches and just pick apart everything that was wrong, instead of looking at what was right. So it's almost a good thing in a way to be hypercritical about that kind of stuff. It can be a flaw at a certain point, but up to a certain point, it's a good thing. You can make yourself better, and then you can adjust if you're willing to actually put the time in to do it. It's incredibly helpful. And I think the most important part is that you then learn something about yourself. Like you like understand who you are.
And when I told my parents that like I think YouTube is something that I really want to do, my mom's like, you just be yourself. She's very like, both of them are very supportive about what I do. Like, my dad doesn't know as much, but my mom, she really helps me, like, be yourself, like, don't worry about what anybody has to say and stuff like that. And then at one point I was like, I think I really want to establish this now, and I want to really try to do this. So we ended up building a little studio. It's like an 8x4 little room that's
awesome.
Yeah, that I like record stuff in and stuff like that. And I mean, I would not be in the position I am today if it wasn't for my friends and family. Like, they have done so much for me. It's like, it's unbelievable, and I'm really grateful for it, because I mean, my friends, we do stuff, behind the camera. Everybody thinks that, oh, you only use them, you use your friends. And I mean, we do a lot of stuff behind the camera to just hang out like normally without a camera being involved. But I mean, as long as they want to do the videos and stuff like that, then we'll do it. Like, if they don't want to, then I'm not going to like force it onto them. But they've helped me out a lot doing this and stuff like that. And my parents being very supportive about it. And I really think that's cool, because like, My parents are awesome. I mean, they don't. There's not too many parents to think like, oh, you want to do YouTube? Like, well, you're ridiculous. And like having them do that, it's like it's really really nice to have them there.
Also, I'd be thinking like, well, if you get rich, you can give me some of the money for helping you set it up. I mean, I'm your parents.
Yeah.
You know, I'm your dad, I'm your mom. Why not hook me up?
Yeah,
that makes sense.
We've talked about before, like, oh yeah, if I ever get big, you know, we'll remodel the house and like do all this cool stuff and like get new cars and things like that. And like, you know, we all like enjoy it. Let's talking about it and stuff like that. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
I'm very glad that they're there to, you know, support me like that. I really enjoy that.
Yeah, you need that support. My mom, when I was like 15, she asked me like, what did I want to do? What do you want to do with your life? And I was like, oh, I either wanted to be a professional wrestler or a radio DJ. And I became a radio DJ. I was a professional wrestler for like 6 months when I was 18 and realized that's not my forte.
Yeah.
I could just watch it and not be involved in it. But the rest of the radio part was like, I don't even think it was necessarily radio that I wanted to be in. It was just, if YouTube would have been around, I would have said YouTube, right? I mean, it was like, but before 10 years ago or 13 years ago, that wasn't an option. It didn't exist.
Yeah.
So you couldn't like tell your parents that. You had to say, I want to get into radio, or I want to be in TV, or I want to be a movie star or whatever. And I find none of those things as appealing as being a YouTube star, because they all have roles, and like you got to go to a job and people are telling you what to do, and you've got prep work to do, and just all this stuff. People were like jumping in and giving their opinion on your thing, and now it can just be your thing.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And doing YouTube, it's like you're your own boss. It's like you want to upload when you want to upload, you want to record when you want to record. It's like there's no boss there. It's like you're running your own business pretty much.
Yeah,
you're your own CEO, which I think is really cool, because I mean, I understand that, you know, people have jobs and they have to listen to their boss, but being your own person, doing your own stuff, like working for yourself pretty much, and you're only one person, I think that's like really cool, and you can basically do whatever. It doesn't matter. I think it's really cool. It
is. Working for a company for most of my life, and now being just on my own for about a year and like a quarter. It's wonderful because of all the freedom, but you also realize, oh crap, if you're like, I guess some people might be different, but like I have too many ideas and too much going on. It's like trying to find the balance of like, okay, I'm going to do these things to get to here, and then do more things to get to here, and figuring out what the right things are to do, and like moving forward that way, and not having somebody behind you basically just giving you a paycheck no matter what you do. If you have a job where they're just handing you a paycheck and you're not really doing that much, it's like too easy. Your life can become very complacent because you're not trying to do anything. Yeah. So I feel like that's the boat I'm in is, man, I gotta just keep moving forward because and with YouTube, I mean, I'm not monetized, like I'm not making any money off of it, but you know, with YouTube you have to reach a certain amount of watch hours and stuff like that, and whenever you upload a video, it's like if I were to be paid, or like we can honestly like just say views are like a paycheck for me. Like you put up a video and it's like it gets this many views, and it's like then you know that's really good if that's one of your most popular videos or something. Yeah. Like then you know what, like that did good, do it again. And if you can't like overdo it either, like if you put up too many videos like that are related to the same thing, then you know you just kind of get boring and dry, and you know nobody wants to watch it anymore. But whenever you come across that one video that like does really good, and it's like, well, I'll do it again, then people will like it and change it up a little bit each time, and people will just keep watching, which I think that's really cool, because YouTube can, you know, you'll learn that from like putting up your videos and stuff like that. You'll learn like what is good and what's not, and you can adapt to it. It's like it's really helpful, like with YouTube, teaching you like what's good and what's not. Yeah, what works, because what you usually think works doesn't work. Yeah, it's like the things that I enjoy the most, I just do for fun because I enjoy them, but other people don't really care. But then some of the stuff that I do I shouldn't say I don't care about it, but it's stuff that I do that is not like my top priority or like my most passionate thing, are things that more people engage with and interact with. Yeah. But if you can find the sweet spot of those two things, like people will enjoy it and it's also something that you dig, that's the best content, because then it becomes so natural and it takes off. Yeah, yeah. I enjoy where I'm at right now. I'm really comfortable with it, and I think I'm just going to stay on the same path, and I'll change up a few things down the road, I'm sure, but right now where I'm at, I'm pretty comfortable. Cool, man. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So Jeremy Byers, Byers.
Yeah.
If they want to find you on YouTube,
Yeah.
subscribe now. I think I'm subscribed. I'm pretty sure I subscribed
Yeah, whenever
Either
whenever we were at the
at the career fair. Yeah.
you
So good luck, man. I'd love to talk again. Like, what's it like at the end of next year? See where you're at. See where
Yeah.
the follower count grew to.
Yeah.
And like kind of track the following, because I think just sticking with it is going to make it work. Like just cranking away at it, and whoever's on board, whoever's not on board, like people want to go, they go. People want to come in, you bring them in to your circle of whatever you're doing, but don't stop doing it. And just keep like focused on.
Yeah, stick to what you're good at and just keep going, and it'll come around.
Even if you have to get a day job, like you're still doing the YouTube videos, still knocking it out, because that's what a lot of people do before they blow up. Like that's how it has to happen.
Yeah, like PewDiePie, he worked at a hot dog stand.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, and and he was still doing YouTube videos.
See, man, that's crazy. That's awesome. I love to hear that. All right, cool. Jeremy, thanks for coming in.
Nice
Anything
coming in.
You want to say to anybody before we wrap it up?
Not really. Go check it out, and that's pretty much it. That's all I have to say.
Cool, man.
I was just happy to be here.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Yeah, good opportunity.
Definitely. And let's stay in touch. Let's like keep tabs on one another to see where we're at in the future.
Yeah.
All right, dude.
Come back next year or something.
Yeah, for sure.
All righty.
All right, see ya.
See ya.
Thank you for your time, Jeremy. If you're like me and you like to get a different perspective on life, I think hopefully that helped you get a different perspective from maybe, if you're podcast listeners usually aren't as young as Jeremy is. So it's cool to have him on here to hopefully give anybody who's older listening, older or younger than me, whatever, same age, doesn't matter, to give you a different perspective on what's going on in the world. And I like Jeremy a lot because, even at a young age, he has more drive than I had. He has more drive than I had at 27, and he's only 16, 17 years old. So I think that's cool. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you listened this long, obviously you did, unless you like to just listen to things that you can't stand. That doesn't make any sense. But some people live their life in a world full of hate, so I don't know what your life is like. But if you want to support the podcast, you can always do that. All podcast support funds go right back into the podcast to make it better for you to listen to. So thank you. Patreon.com/RobZRadio. RobZRadio.com is my website. So everything about me, my internet marketing, consulting, social media marketing, and consulting business, all the details there. You can see the results that I've received for myself and for other businesses. You can also see my adventures with my son, Max. All podcast episodes, my story, everything is at RobZRadio.com. Zebras, thank you so much for listening, for being a part of this thing. And if you ever want to be a podcast guest or sponsor, or just reach out to me to say hi, you can do that at RobZRadio.com. Click that contact button, and I will be in touch with you. Shout out to Sports Evolution, to Juice, Trade Secrets, Clay Cup for making this thing possible. And I'll talk to you next time.
This is Rob Z Radio.
That's brutal.